Hi grade 7s, as you can see, I'm back with another literature lesson. Now this lesson is very, very, very important because it is about your term 2 literature assessment. So, I hope you're listening and I hope you're ready. Right, you'll get to look at this and this, okay? And what we have here on the first page is all the instructions, and the second page is the rubric, which I will be using to mark you. I'm going to go through both right now, and I'm going to start with the instructions. Right, so the very first thing you will notice is you have about a week for this activity, okay? And what you will be doing is you will be submitting a video of your speech to me, okay? Because you are at home at the moment. Right, so this is a character analysis task. That's the first thing we need to remember. The second thing we need to remember is that it is for 20 marks, okay? Which is a good chunk of your English mark. Right, so on to the instructions. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to decide whether you are looking at your novel from term 1, okay, or your novel from term 2. It is up to you. You can decide. And then you can choose a character from one of those novels. So, if you're choosing your term 1 novel, you can use your chapter notes for your character. We've also done character sketches, right? And we've looked at the timeline. If you choose your term 2 novel, once again, you've got character notes. You should have done your timeline by now. And we've done our character sketches and we've gone over them. Right. And what you're going to do is you're going to prepare a character analysis speech. Right. So, in order to help you prepare a character analysis speech, there are 12 little points that I will be looking for when you are speaking. Right? You can take a page out of your, in your literature book. Don't take it out of your literature book, but take a page in your literature book and you will draw either a circle map or a bubble map. Or a mind map, whatever works for you. But I need to see one of these things on the day that you present your oral. Right. And when you are analyzing your character, so you'll put your character's name in the middle, maybe even the novel that they're from, and then in the rest of your map, so in the rest of the circle or on each of your bubbles, or on each of your points, you will consider the following things. Okay, number 1, appearance. What does your character look like? How old are they? How old are they? What are their gender? Are they tall? Are they short? Are they lanky? Long arms, long legs? Or are they stocky? Short arms, short legs. Right? What's their hair color, eye color? And what kind of clothes do they wear? Right? So describe what your character looks like. Then we go on to the background of your character. So where did your character come from? Where do they live? What do we know about their past? Where did your character grow up? Does your character have any family members? So this is where you can talk about their family interactions, who's in their family, what their connection is to these family members. Are they really close to them or are they withdrawn, far away? That kind of thing. Right. 3. Personality. What's your character like as a person? Are they shy? Are they brave? Are they outspoken? Are they kind? Are they prejudiced? Now remember, prejudice means when you dislike someone or discriminate against someone for a particular trait. Okay? So, for example, if you're looking at Number the Stars or even I Am David, we see that the soldiers don't like a certain set of people and they're keeping them in concentration camps, or they're wanting to arrest them and keep them in concentration camps. They are prejudiced against those particular people. They're discriminating against them, they don't like them, and they think of them in a stereotypical way. They think that they are a particular way because that's how society sees them. Right? If you're looking for more on prejudice, you can go ahead and look it up in your dictionary. Okay. And then lastly, under personality, is there anything extraordinary about your characters? There's something super special about them that you think everyone needs to know. Okay. 4. What are your character's strengths and weaknesses? What are they good at? What are they not so good at? Okay? How do you know? What in the story tells you that they're not good at that specific thing, that they're actually really bad at it? Or what in the story tells you that they're great at that particular thing? Look for it, okay? You can't just say my character is this, and this. You got to tell me why your character is a good person or why your character is not such a good person, okay? Or why your character has this particular strength or why your character has this particular weakness. Right, number 5. How do other characters see your character? So this is where we're looking at that perspective that we spoke about, where we see people a certain way and people see themselves a certain way, and it's not always the same. So how do the other characters in the story, see your particular character? And does your character see themselves in exactly the same way? Or is it different? Right. 6. What conflict does your character encounter? Now, in most of the novels, they encounter more than one set of conflict. So you can talk about a particular one that you really enjoyed reading about, or you can speak shortly about them all, right? What conflict does your character encounter and how does your character handle that conflict? Very, very important. How does your character see that conflict and think, okay, what am I going to do about it? How does your character deal with it? 7. What motivates your character? What makes your character do things? What inspires your character? What keeps your character going forward and pushing and trying to be better or trying to get to a certain place? What is it that drives your character, pushes them, motivates them, inspires them, excites them? Think about that. 8. What good choices does your character make? What good choices does your character make? So think about your character and decide, this choice and this choice and this choice was a pretty good idea for them to do. And how does that choice affect the other people around them? Okay, when they did that particular good thing, what happened to the rest of the characters? 9. What bad choices does your character make? So here's the opposite. Think about your character. Think about the things that they did and the bad things that they did. Things that could have been seen as negative. And then describe how those bad choices affected the rest of the characters or the story as a whole. 10. Now, this is something very important that we're going to be looking at. Does your character change in any way during the novel? So from the beginning of the novel and moving forward, is there any change in your character? Can you see any growth, any difference? Okay? This is their character development. So you're going to discuss it. In the beginning of the novel, your character was this way, but then we saw that particular character encounter this, which changed their view on A, B, and C. That kind of thing, okay? What was your character like in the beginning? What made them change? And how have they changed? Character development. Right. 11. Has your character taught you anything? Think about your particular character and who they are in the novel. Have they taught you anything? Any lesson at all? And explain your answer. So tell me, my character taught me because they did this or they said this or they encountered this, okay? Explain your answer using ideas from your novel. Right. And the last one, number 12. How does your character contribute to your enjoyment or dislike of the novel? So, your character. How does your character add to how much you enjoyed the novel? Or how does your character add to how much you didn't enjoy the novel? Okay? How? So not yes or no. Your character adds to the enjoyment of your novel because we see your character do this, 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 and this. or your character adds to the dislike of your novel because your character behaves in this way and does this which is not so great, and etc. So you're going to go through this page and create your circle map, bubble map, or mind map for your character that you've chosen. Now, when you're choosing your character, try to think a little bit out of the box. Try to grab a character that is a little bit different to one everyone else might choose. Remember, you've got a whole lot of characters to choose from because you've now read 2 novels. Right, so moving on from this, we're going to look at how I'm going to be marking you, okay? So this is your English Literature rubric for term 2, your name and what grade 7 class you're in, and it is for 20 marks. So if we're looking at the 10 criteria down the side, reference to your novel. Very simple. Did you use your novel or your chapter notes in this case to help you build your case about your character? Did you pull ideas from what happened in the novel? Did you tell me why a character behaves in a certain way based on the events that happened in the novel? Okay? Content. Now this one's very important. You've got to choose a character that you can have a lot of information about, but also make sure your ideas are good about them. They are well thought out. They are pieced together well with a good amount of information. Because if you don't have enough information about your character, your speech will be too short, number one. There won't be enough content to mark you on, and you certainly will not have answered all of these questions. So your content goes hand in hand with the map you create, the mind map, the circle map, or the bubble map. Right. Next one is also very important, your flow of the speech. So once you're done with your mind map, circle map, or bubble map, you are going to decide which point will come first. Then it will go into point 2. So the thing is, your ideas need to be logically organized so that they flow. I need you to talk about the first point, finish off with the first point, and move on to the second point. No jumping back and forth, okay? No talking about appearance, jumping off to personality and coming back to appearance. That's not how it works, okay? You need to talk about appearance, be done. Talk about personality, be done. Next one, be done. But also you need to arrange it so that you've got something that flows from what your character looks like into the next point, into the next point, into the next point. Okay. The next one, sections of the speech, very easy. Your speech needs a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Remember, your beginning and ending need to be very strong. They need to grab your audience's attention and leave them thinking at the end. Right. Ability to stay on topic, also very simple. I need you to talk about your character. Don't talk about other things. Okay, your character and a few things that happen in the novel. You're not going to describe the whole novel for me. Just a few important facts you think we need to know. Do not go off and talk about other characters unless you are listing family members. Do not start to describe those characters and go into detail about those characters. I only want to hear about your character and a few important events and a few family members or things that I need to know. Right. The use of appropriate language. This is a very easy one. I need you to use formal language. So no like and yeah and then. Think about it carefully when you're preparing this speech. It needs to sound like a speech that you'd give in front of a whole bunch of people. It also needs to sound formal, right? So you've got to use high standard vocabulary. I need you to use words that a grade 7 learner should be using, okay? So think about that carefully, how you're going to word all of your sentences, all of your descriptions. Right, next one, projection and modulation. Projection. Please speak loudly enough for us to hear you. Modulation. Make your voice interesting. Otherwise, it's a little bit monotonous. And then the next one is facial expressions and gestures. Use your face, okay? Show us how you're feeling. Show us how your character is feeling, something like that. And match that feeling to what you're talking about in your speech. And gestures, okay? We're going to use our gestures. We're going to use our hands and our head to nod. But we're not going to use too many gestures. We're going to use them to make our point. We're going to use them to add to what we're saying. Okay. Body language. When you are presenting, it is very important that you use eye contact, right? I need to see you looking at the camera for your recording, which means you'll be looking at me when I'm watching it. I do not want to see you staring at your speech and reading it to me. You may have key cards. You may use your key cards, but remember, they are key cards. They are not your entire speech, okay? So, if you've got your key cards, you can use them, or you can put them out in front of you. You don't necessarily have to stand, right? But just make sure you are using them to look at and then speak, look at and speak, not read. And then under body language as well, I like to see good posture. So when I'm recording for you, my back is up straight and you can see that it almost looks like I might be standing, even though I'm sitting down. I do not want to see you slouching because also that affects your voice and your ability to breathe. So if you're up straight, your presentation will be better. Okay, and the last one, which I won't be marking you on because you're not in the classroom. So yours will actually be out of 18 and it will be converted. The last one is audience etiquette. So this obviously, is very important to me in particular because I believe that everyone deserves to be heard. Also, everyone deserves the opportunity to say what they need to say. So here under audience etiquette, it would basically mean you were paying attention to what someone was saying when they were doing their speech. But like I said, I'm not going to be marking you on that. Yours will technically be out of 18, and then we will convert it to a mark out of 20 on percentage. Right. So that's all from me. In the description below this video, you will find my email address, which you can use to email me directly your video, or you can post it on the Class Dojo app. It's up to you. Make sure you find the portfolio titled Literature Oral, okay? And then you can post your video in there, or you can email it to me directly, where you can just tell me, Miss Hayden, here's my video, thank you, and your name, okay? Just to make sure. Right. That's all from me. Please, please, please access these documents. Please, please, please read these documents so that you know what I'm looking for. Okay? And please, please, please practice your speech in the mirror so that you can be well prepared when it is time to give your speech. And that is all from me. I look forward to seeing you in my next video lesson. Bye, grade 7s.